Okay, we'll wait for a quick 1 minute and we'll get started. We shall announce the quiz winners after 30 minutes or so. Okay, I think we should get started now. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Python session. Tame Your Python is course name. And let's move on. So as you all know, this program is for people who are novice, who are new to Python programming, who do not know anything about Python programming. So we started off very slow, and now we are taking this to the next level altogether. And now we are talking about various functions. Okay, if you say x equal to 50, and then if you write your own user-defined function, once again, within Python programming, when you have functions, they are of two types. One is inbuilt functions. Another is user-defined functions. Okay, and inbuilt functions are functions which are written by someone else, and you can just reuse that by giving the name of the function. And user-defined functions are here. Define function. This is how you write your user-defined function. You just say def for define, and then you give a space. And whatever name you give here is going to be the name of the function which you want to reuse. For example, you're defining your function here in this block, and you're calling that function here. So you can reuse the function multiple times. Define once, use multiple times throughout. So what is this function supposed to do? Function of x colon. Instead of x, you can say I. If you give there I, everywhere throughout, you need to give I. If you give y throughout the, in all the other places throughout, you need to give y, so on and so forth. So print x is x. So this would ideally print, let me run it and then explain what happens. So this would print x is 50 because x is given, or x is assigned a number 50, so that 50 is printed here. Then within this loop or within your function, you're saying x equal to 2. So what is happening now? Earlier x was 50, you're now changing that value to 2. Now when you print this, print change local x2, whatever is in single quotes or double quotes or triple quotes would get printed onto the screen as is. And what do you want that to be followed with? X. What is x new value? 2. So the 2 gets printed. Now what you're doing is you're saying, call this function. Okay. And this function gets executed. Okay. Simply that function is getting executed. And then what are you saying? Print x is still x. Since this function is called, you're getting these two. because it will see, there are two things, friends. One is you are defining a function. Another is you're calling the function. Okay, you're defining a function, and this function should do some operation, and that's some operation is just printing out the numbers onto the screen. And then you're calling the function, calling the defined function. Since you call this function, it will go to this block, this function. It will print this, and then it will take x equal to 2. It will go to this line and then print this. And finally, you're just saying, after this function is executed, just print x is still x. So this x equal to 2 becomes local. Okay, this x equal to 2 becomes a local value to this function, but x equal to 50 will still remain a global value. Yeah, well said, Krishnavanshi. When we do similar tasks, consequently, we use looping. And if we do similar tasks at different locations in your programming, then you use functions. Wonderful. Okay. Reusability of the code, right? If you define a function, you can reuse it in multiple places. That's another benefit. Okay. So here x is still 50. Now, if I remove this function x, that means if I do not call this function, then obviously this block will not get executed because you're just defining the function here. After defining, if you do not call the function, it would not give you the results onto the screen. It will just say x is still x, that's it. Why? Because you're defining a function, but you're not calling it anywhere else. If you call it somewhere else, only then will this block of your user-defined function would get executed. Okay. Now, you're writing another user-defined function wherein you're saying total, and you're giving 3 attributes here. One is initial equal to 5. Then you're giving star numbers, 2 stars, and keywords. Okay, you'll understand this even better here. The same code, we would execute it here. Okay, so hold on until then, because we have a few things which we need to perform before we move on there. So x equal to 50, this part we have already executed. Now let's understand this. This is variable arguments. Arguments which are variable. Variable means changes. Right? And then you're defining your own function and you're giving the name of the function as star argv. I mean, that's how you give. Star args is what you give for variable number of arguments. Let's understand. Now you're writing a for loop within that. Within this block, you're writing a for loop and you're saying arg in argument of v. So it will go to each and every element of those variable arguments. It will go to each and every element and it will print each and every element. For example, if you say my function, if you're calling that function here, and if you give the variable arguments, you can give any argument. It's not fixed, it is variable. So you're saying hello, welcome to 360 digit mg. Okay, when you do this, it will go to for argument in argument of v. So it will go to each and every argument and it will print the argument. onto your screen. Each element or each argument is printed onto the screen. Let me run it. There we go. So the first element gets printed. Then in the next line, then again it will go to this for loop. In arg arguments, variable arguments, it will go to the next one. It will print that. Then for arg variable arguments, it will go here. It will print that onto the screen. Then for arg argument variable arguments, it will go here and it will print that onto the screen. If I go here, I think it will be visible now. Okay. So here we are writing another function. And here you're giving star star and the keyword argument. To pass the variable keyword arguments to the function, we are using keyword arguments. And here in this specific scenario, you have star star and this keyword argument is given a name data. And here you're saying print in the new line. New line means in the output, just give one space and print this data type of argument, colon. I mean, whatever is there in the double quotes or single quotes or triple quotes. 4 quotes, it will throw error. Until triple quotes, it's fine. That would be printed as is to the screen output and followed by the type of data. Okay, so first let me run it and then we'll talk more about that here. So it's telling that data type of argument, see, it's taking a new line. It's not printing here. It's leaving one line and it's starting to print this on the next line. And the type of data is class of dictionary. Okay, it's saying that that is dictionary here. And dictionary contains key value pairs. We contain key value pairs. It will have a key and a value associated to that. So what you're saying is, go to the various items in that data. Whatever data you define, go to the various items in that. And each item will have a key and a value. Print those onto the screen. And you're saying, flower brackets is flower brackets dot, in which format do you want to print? Key. So the first empty flower bracket would be the key, and the next flower bracket would take value. And now I'm saying intro. So I'm trying to reuse this function here, and I'm giving the data. Keyword arguments, variable keyword arguments. So that means you can give first names, surname, address, whatever you want. Variable keyword arguments, but these have some keywords. So you're saying first name equal to Sita, last name Sharma, age is 22, and phone number is given. What would it do? It will go to this function first. It will print this data type of argument, and it will type this. The type of this data is dictionary. If you're defining, it won't execute, friends. Only if you call the defined function, it will execute. And here it says, and then it will go to this for key value in data items. So in these data, this is the data, if you see here. This is the data. Within intro, whatever you give is the data. Within intro, whatever you give is the data. So go to that data and items within that. Items, how many do you have? 1, 2, 3, and 4 items. For each of these, items, you have key and value. Key is first name, value is Sita. Key is last name, value is Sharma. Key is age, value is 22. Key is phone, and value is this. So what are you doing? You're printing. And what are you printing? You're printing in this way. Bracket is this. Dot format, key and value. So you have key, first name. Value is Sita. So that is what is getting printed. Then it will go to the for loop again. It will go to the second item. After printing this, it will go to this. It will go to the second item, which is this last name. It will take the key and value and store it. Key is last name, value is Sharma. And then it will print out the results onto the screen. In which format? Key, value. So key is value. Key is last name. So last name is, value is Sharma. Then again, this for loop gets executed. It's not done yet. Until all the items are exhausted, it would keep running the for loop. Now again, it will go here. It will go to the third item of this. It will take this key value. Key is age, value is 22. And it will again print the results in this way. So it will say age is 20 because key will come here, value will come here. Age is 20. So on and so forth for this. You can give variable keyword arguments. Since you can give variable keyword arguments, if I were to run this, it will also display the results in a similar fashion. But here you have the first name, the last name, email ID, country, age, phone number. There we go. So first name is John, last name is Word, email ID is this, country is this, age is this, phone is this. All it is doing is when you run this function, within that you're defining the variable keywords, keyword arguments, and the name is data. In the place of data, you're giving all this. So it will once again go to this line, it will print this. It will say new line. Of course, there is a new line here. If you see, it's not continuing immediately. It's printing out that new line. And then it starts this data type of argument and type of data is this. And then for key value in data items, it will go to data and the items within that. All these items, and then it's printing out the results. In which format? In this format. So key is this. So it has the key value there, which is getting printed out. Okay. I can probably zoom it a bit. So we have spoken already about this and this, didn't we? If I were to scroll up, we already spoke about 1 star and followed by that, which is nothing but variable number of arguments. And here you're giving variable keyword arguments. So now what we are doing is we are trying to reuse both of those and see what happens. I would give you 2 minutes time. I would like you guys to try this and let me know on what will be the answer. This is an in-class exercise. Just take quick 2 minutes and let me know what will be the answer to this. Or rather, I will give you 1 minute. Okay, and then we will proceed further with this. Give a try, friends. Please give a try. Let's see what happens. How many of y'all would give me the right answer is what I would be interested in. Go for it, friends. Okay, so we are up. Let's see. One of our friend is very close. Anusha is very close to giving the right answer, but yep, good try. So let's understand this. Which color do I choose? All the colors are there here. Um, so you're defining this total. You're saying initial value is 5. Okay. Numbers, keywords. Okay. And you're saying count equal to initial. So you're assigning this count a value 5 because 5 is already defined. So count value will be equivalent to 5. Then for number in numbers, variable numbers can be given, right? Variable arguments can be given. And here you're giving all these different values. Okay, but the first position will go for this initial value. You're defining a function, okay, and then you're calling that function. And within the same line, you're also printing the results. So that's the initial value. And you have numbers, variable numbers. Then you have keywords. When it comes to keywords, you can have variable keyword arguments. So here you have vegetables and fruits. So you have variable keyword arguments. For number in numbers. So for each number in these numbers, you go to the first number. And what are you doing here? You're saying count is equal to count plus number. What was the initial count? 5. Okay. But here in this, what are you saying? Initial value is 10. Okay. You're saying initial value is 10. Let me remove it. This 5 here is just to give some number to this. That's it. There is no specific reason, or you can also remove this and just call initial. That's good enough. Okay. Here, this initial value, which you're trying to give, happens to be 5. Okay. So that you're assigning count that initial value 10. After you run this line, what happens is this function gets called and you're taking this number 10, which is the initial value, and assigning it to count. So count value will be equivalent to 10. Okay, next. It will go to this for loop. for number in numbers. So these are the three numbers. It will go to each number. So it will go to the first number, 10. And it will do count equal to count plus number. This is an abbreviated way. Okay, this is an abbreviated fashion, count plus equal to number. You're saying count equal to count plus number. Initial count is 10, so it will take 10 plus what is the number here? 1. So it will store 11 in count now. And then it will go back to the for loop once again. Because you have not exhausted all the numbers. Star numbers means what? Variable numbers. So it will go to the second number, which happens to be 2. And count equal to count plus number once again. So count would be equivalent to, the new count is 11 plus this number 2. So the new count value will become 13. Again, it will go back to the for loop for number in numbers. So it will go to the third number. The third number. And the third number is 3 here. So count equal to count plus number. The new count value is 13. So it will become 13 count plus this number 3. So you get 16. So 16 becomes the final count value after this is exhausted. After the variable numbers are exhausted, 16 will be the new count value. So the new count value equal to 16. Keep in mind. And once this for loop is executed, it will move to the next for loop. Next for loop says, for key in keywords. What should I do? Do this. So it's telling go to each and every key, go to this and this, because variable keyword arguments. That's the meaning of this. Variable means you can have as many as possible. Okay. Then here also there isn't this abbreviated stuff. You write this as count equal to count plus keywords of key. Okay, so the new count value is 16, 16 plus this keyword of the first key. Keywords, if you go to the keywords, the first key is vegetables. And what is the value assigned to this vegetable? 50. So you'll assign 50. And when you count these, you will have 66. Then again, it will go back to the for loop. For key in keywords, so it will go to the second key, which is fruit. Keywords of, it will go to the keyword, and this is the second key. And it will take the value assigned to that, which is 100. And it will assign. Now the new count is 66. 66 plus 100, it becomes 166. And that is the number which you want to return. So you want to return count. And the count value holds 166, and that is what has to be printed here. Okay. Now one of our friend has a question. There are 10, 1, 2, 3, 4. Are these, how are these segregated? Okay. How many do you have here? 3, different elements that you're defining. The first element is initial. That will go to the first place. Only one value. Initial takes only one value. So it will take only the first value. It's not variable, right? This is not variable. Here only when you put star, this becomes variable. So variable arguments would be here. And after the first number, all the next set of numbers are variable numbers. Then you're saying the third element is, if you write it as star star, then it becomes variable keyword argument. So you need to have keyword. The moment you write a keyword, it understands that, okay, the third component got triggered. the third component got triggered is what it will understand automatically. And you're giving these two. So those two will belong to this. These three will belong to this numbers. This is initial, so only one value will go to that. If you may just give me a minute, I'll also show you rather than confuse you guys. I just removed those friends. You need not even give initial equal to 5, right? You can just say initial numbers, keywords. That's it. And then you have 166. Hope this helps. I don't know, you have a very fancy name, Aid Smoker. So hope that helps. All right. So now let me quickly, since you guys are there, let me announce the quiz winners for yesterday's quiz. Ubaida Saud, are you there? Congratulations if you're there. You are the fastest finger first with the right answer. Second, we have Kavita Patel. Wonderful job done. Again, fastest finger first, and you won the first play. I mean, you won the Amazon coupon. And the third person is Siddhant Kadam. Good job, friends. I mean, the results that we give out has absolutely no bias because everything is available on LinkedIn. You can just see when they have commented or mentioned the answers on the comment section, right? You can check whether their answers are right or wrong. I mean, everything is picked in a transparent manner. There's nothing weird going on behind the scenes. So let me run this quiz link. There we go. So this is a quiz link for today's quiz. And please take your time and respond. Please fill the comment section with your answers to all these 10 questions. It is a good learning for you all. Very good learning. You're attending this session and then you're going back and attempting these quiz, questions. And also vis-a-vis, you're getting an opportunity to win something just for bringing in some, competitive spirit into you guys. We have announced that. Please do follow us. Don't forget, ask your friends, etc. to, subscribe. We have a lot of job openings. We are now tying up with companies to conduct on-campus interviews. I mean, on-campus in the sense it will be on our campus premise, right? They will come and then they'll hire. We will have some bargaining power to push more profiles, ask them to hire new people, more people, right? We'll have that luxury. So please make best use of that. Okay, and also YouTube channel, because we are coming up with a lot of things. And the next such webinar will happen on data engineering, only the basic stuff. Okay, we are coming up with data engineering next on similar lines, so make best use of that. Okay, all the links are posted on our YouTube chat window as well. Now, you have local and global values. Let's understand a bit. If you say x equal to 5, for example, if you say define new, I mean, you're just defining first you're assigning a number to this variable, that's fine. Then you're defining, that means you're coming up with your own user-defined function. And that user-defined function should start with def only. And then you can give any name to that function. You're giving new, open and close the braces and the colon there. That's how you start off with your function. And the next line, next set of lines will tell on what should this new function do. It has to just print the number. It has to say number is, and whatever is the number. This is defining friends. It doesn't do anything. When you define, it doesn't give you any output immediately. Only when you call it, it will give you the answer. So what you're doing here, you're calling this function. And when you call that function, what will it do? It will take this x value 5. It will go to this function new. It just prints number is 5 because you're saying print the value of x. Okay. So two things are happening. It's taking the number x equal to 5 and it's going to this print number is x, which is 5. And then you're also saying print x. Print of x means x equal to 5, so that 5 gets printed. All right, so I'm a person who gives attention to these kind of things also. So there has to be a space. Okay, yeah, also there has to be a space. All right, now let's understand from you all on what would be the answer to this. Yeah, that's okay, Krishna. A few people are, they do very well in class and then not so well in exam, but what you learn is more important. And how you can exhibit that in your interviews is even more important. So nothing to worry, absolutely. So what do you think will be the answer to this, my friends? Yeah. So you're assigning 5 to x. Okay. And then you're saying you want to have a user-defined function and you're giving the name of that function as new, open and close the braces, and then colon. And then you're saying x equal to 10. Within this function, you're saying x equal to 10, and then it would print the number is x. So it would print the number is 10. When you call that function, here you're defining the function. If you define the function, it won't throw the output onto the screen. Only when you call it, it will go to this new, it will say x equal to 10. Okay, let me print the number is x, which is the number is 10. And then you're also saying print x. Print x means it will come out of this loop. Within this loop, this x is called as a local value. X holds the local number, local value. And this is a global value. So it is printing, number is 10, and also x equal to 5, that is also getting printed. Okay, next. Slightly lengthy code is what you might feel, but when you try to understand this, you'll be like, oh, there's nothing so sacrosanct about it or difficult. These lines of code are not at all difficult, is what you'll feel. Now, once again, I don't know, I'm trained like a machine, right, to identify these kind of things. So whatever you write after hash is called as a comment. It's always good to have comments. We are creating a variable called age, which is a global variable, obviously, right? Because you are defining it outside your function. You're assigning 23 to that. And you have name, you're taking this. Whenever you put something in single quotes or double or triple quotes, that will become a string. So you have in this, and then you have places. You're creating a variable called places, and then you're giving 3 elements to that: Nagpur, Mumbai, and Pune. Then you're defining your own function, and you're giving the name of the function as local. And here You're saying age equal to 1. Now it becomes local. Name equal to Ayush. That becomes local. When you say print this entire thing, I mean, whatever you put in double quotes gets printed as is onto the screen. And you're saying wherever you have this representation, what should you do? First thing should be name. This is string. The second thing should be an integer, I, age. Third thing should be a string, and you're saying go to places and pick the first index value. Index value is 1, index value is 0 for Nagpur, 1 for Mumbai, and 2 for Pune. You're saying go to this and pick this. Okay, and then you're saying return. Return in sense just return the result and then come out of the loop. You're defining this function, right? You're defining it. When will it run? Only when you call that function. When you say local and when you call it, it will call these local values. Global will not replace local within this loop. And after that, you're saying print hash hash just to segregate the next print line. And in the next print line, you're giving exactly the same thing. But this is outside your local function. So what it will do is it will take the global values now. Within a function, the local values will take effect. Outside this, if you're not calling this function, then global values will take effect. Once again, you're saying whatever comes after this, the first one should be named, that is the string. The second should be age, which is an integer. The third should be places. It will go to places and it will pick the second index value. This is 0, this is 1, and this is 2. So let me run here and let us see the answers. Yep. So it is giving the right answers. So when you say local, it will go here, age equal to 1, name is Ayush. Name is Ayush, age is 1, and the places of 0 you have not defined here. Since you have not defined in this, it will then go to global, pick this now. Since you have not defined here, if you don't define age and name, then it will go and take from the global, variable declaration. From this global space, it will go and take. But if you locally give some numbers, that would be given preference. So within a function, the local representation would take preference over global. And then you're saying print all these things. So this local would give this, it will go to this function and execute. Then you're printing all of these. And then the third line is print of these. So you have name, age, and places. Name is Somesh. If you go to the global stuff, is 23 age, and places of 2 is 2. Okay. Declaring global variable within a function. Okay, I want a value which will be surpassing the representation of local values. For example, if you say x equal to 5, and if you're defining a function, user-defined function, you can give any name, open and close braces, and then colon there. You're not giving anything within this. When you say global of x, so you're making this x as global, and then you're saying x value is 10. And when you say print number is x, what do you think will be the output? You're defining this. Of course, it won't give you any output until you call it. So you're defining and then you're calling it. After you call it, this function that you have gets executed. And then when you say print of x, this will give one answer, this will give one answer. What answers do you think you'll get, friends? Yep. Give a try and let me know. Come on, friends. Jog your, brain. Give some exercise to your brain. Ten. Okay, when it goes to this, since you're saying global of x, you're saying whatever x value I give should now become 10. Global. So first of all, it will print. I mean, when you run this is what you get because it will traverse this and then it will print the number is 10. And when you say print of x, though you have x equal to 5, now you have told to your function that this x equal to 10 is global because you're defining it as global here. So same 10 gets printed onto the screen. All these functions that you're learning will come in extremely handy when you do data analytics, data science, machine learning, deep learning, artificial intelligence, come what may. You can define your own functions. You can write your own logic. Okay, next. Recursion. So let's do this. We are defining a user-defined function and you're giving the name of that as factorial of n. And you're writing if-else loops. You're saying if this n value that you give is less than 0, say that the input is, print the input should be positive number. Or you say input the positive number. If it is less than 10, it's a negative number. For negative values, you cannot find factorial. Else, if n value that you give is 0, 0 factorial is nothing but 1. So you're just going to say factorial of the 0 factorial is going to be 1. You're hard coding it. If the n value is not less than 0, if the n value is not equal to 0, then obviously n value will be greater than 0. If the n value is greater than 0, that is else. Go to this. Say fact equal to 1. Okay, just initiate fact equal to 1. Then for I in range of I comma n plus 1, once again, I believe in certain things. So n plus 1. And if you give, say, n value as 5, for example, n equal to 5. Okay, when you say fact of 5, what happens is it will go to this function. If n is less than 0, it will print this, but n is here greater than 0. Else, if n equal to 0, it will print this. But here n equal to 5, which is greater than positive. So it will go to this else part. It will say fact equal to 1. For I in range of 1 comma 5 plus 1, which is 6. And range of 1 comma 5 plus 1, which is 6, will give you 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you go to this line. Fact equal to fact multiplied by I. Okay, that's the abbreviation. So initial fact value is 1. You get started with 1. 1 into 1. It will go to I in range of this. It will go to first one. So you store 1. Then again, it goes back to this for loop. to this for loop. I in range of 2. So fact equal to fact into I. So fact is 1 earlier into 2, which becomes 2. So now fact stores this value 2. Again, it will go back here for I in range of this. So it will go to number 3. Fact equal to fact into I. Fact value is 2. 2 into I value is 3 now. It becomes 6, or let me put it as 2 into 3. 6 is nothing but 2 into 3. Let me represent in this way. Or let me put it as 6. Which is again, it will go back here. It will go to I in range of this. It will go to 4. So it will be 6 into 4 this time. The 6 is nothing but 2 into, I put it here, 2 into 3 into 4, just for your understanding. And this 2 is nothing but 1 into 2. So 1 into 2 into 3. I can write it in that. So this can be written as 1 into 2 into 3 into 4. So this will become 24. Now again, it will go back to this. For I in range of this, the last number. So it's 24, 24 into 5. But then you can write it as 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. If you multiply all of these things, you get 24 into 5. If you multiply all these things, you get 6 into 4. If you multiply these two, you get 2 into 3. So I'm just trying to represent in this way because when you have this representation, it will be easier. This will become 120. So finally, you print that the factorial of whatever value, n value is 5 here, n value is 5. 5 factorial is whatever is stored in fact, the final number gets displayed onto the screen. So this is a perfect, combination of user-defined function in which you're writing if, else if loops. Within that, you're writing a for loop. Okay, so the factorial of 5 factorial is 120. This exclamation symbol is factorial. Okay. So given this, can you people please crack this? I'll give you 2 minutes to crack this and let me know what's the answer going to be for this. Yes, yes, Raghu. It is recursion. Yeah, 1 minute and you should be able to crack this and let me know on what will be the answer to that. Good. A few of y'all are giving me the answers. Yep, you get 120. This is nothing but a different way of writing the same thing. What happens here? Let us understand. When you say fact of 5, you're calling your user-defined function, and in the place of n, you're saying 5. If 5 is less than 0, print this. But is 5 less than 0? Not really. Else, if n equal to 0, 5 is not equal to 0. If it is 0, you print this. Else, if n equal to 1, just return 1 because 1 factorial equal to 1. But it's not 1, it's 5. So it will go to this else part. It will return 5, n is 5, into factorial of 5 minus 1, which is 4. And again, it will go back here. Factorial of 4. Is n less than 0? No. Equal to 0? No. 4, right? It's not even 1. Then it will go here. N into factorial of this. So this part will give you 4 into factorial of 4 minus 1, which is 3. Then what happens? It will go back here. Factorial of 3. It will traverse this path. N is less than 0, equal to 0, equal to 1. It will check these conditions. None of the conditions will meet. So it will go to this condition and it will say n into factorial of n minus 1. So it will be 3 into factorial of 3 minus 1 is 2. Then again it will go back, factorial of 2 would get executed, and n value will be 2 now. So these three conditions of else if, and else if won't satisfy. So it will go to this else and it will go once again to this, and then it will type 2 into factorial of 2 minus 1, which is 1. And 1, right? Factorial is 1 now. So when it goes back to the slope n equal to 1, it will return 1. So 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. 5 into 4 is 20, 20 into 3 is 60, 60 into 2 is 120, 120 into 1 is 120 only. Okay, so this is what you get as a result. So I think this is all I had, and a lot of people were asking for break. So tomorrow will be off. We won't have session, or we will have session from 5th onwards, 5th of November 21, and the timing will be 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. IST. And happy Diwali, friends. So, I mean, there are different ways of writing Akhil. That's it. One way is writing like this, another way is writing in this way. So it's up to you on how you want to write the code. Right? So just because there are two ways, we are explaining both of these. Happy Diwali, enjoy, friends, and stay safe. Thank you all, and see you on 5th. Bye until then.